Hey everyone, Eric Pate here, back with another video. Welcome, or boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing boys. My name's Eric Pate, and welcome to another episode or video regarding racing. Now, you guys know when I did this series last, that I did the preview part, like, Friday nights when I had to go to qualifying results, and a little bit of practice was done, so we could try to get figured out of like how the races are going to go. Now, since they are now on Saturday, we have to do it now. So I do it midweek. So then, yeah. Let's go ahead now. For the review part, we're gonna talk about how we did in our picks. Our stage 1, stage 2 winners, the top 10 in points, and then starting this week, we're gonna have what was the top 10 in the race, and then I'm gonna go through my picks for this week. This race, which is the Auto Trader Orchid Park Automotive 400. Honestly, I should be saying Auto Trader Orchid Park Automotive 500. I don't see Texas should be a 500-mile race. And same thing with the Cookout 400. I should say Cookout 500 because that should have been a 500-lap race. No questions about it. So let's go ahead and review this. So let's go ahead and go through our picks. William Byron. For the first time ever since I rebooted this series, I got a pick that won the race, and it was William Byron, because I picked all 4 Hendrick Motorsports guys, the guys of William Byron, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Alex Bowman. All 4 finished in the top 10. 3 of them in the top 3, with Kyle Larson taking home the 2nd spot, Chase Elliott coming home 3rd. Joey Logano came home 6th, Alex Bowman came home 8th, Martin Truex went home 18th, and Ty Gibbs drove to a 19th place finish. Our stage 1 winner was Kyle Larson, who was also our pole sitter. Denny Hamlin, as much as I don't like saying that name, was our stage 2 winner. And our race winner, like I mentioned, was William Byron. Kyle Larson, William Byron took on the most laps led as well, and he beat Kyle Larson by 1 lap on that. William Byron led 88, while Kyle Larson led 87 of the 400 laps. Our top 10 in points after Martinsville were Kyle Larson, and he has 1 win on the season. Martin Truex, 2nd. Denny Hamlin, as much as I don't like saying this, 2 wins on the season. William Byron, now with 3 wins on the season. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs. Ryan Blaney is 5th. Chase Elliott is 6th. Ty Gibbs is 7th. Ross Chastain is 8th. Tyler Reddick is 9th. And Alex Bowman is 10th. That is our top 10. Again, when we start the NBC stretch, I am going to do a top 16 instead, because that's roughly, because we need to buckle up and get ready for the playoffs. Our top 10 in points, no, the top 10 from the race was William Byron, of course, was the race winner. Kyle Larson 2nd. Chase Elliott was 3rd. Bubba Wallace was 4th. Ryan Blaney was 5th. Joe Logano was 6th. Ty Gibbs was 7th. Alex Bowman was 8th. 9th was Ryan Preece, and 10th was Chase Briscoe. Before we get into my picks for this weekend's race at Texas, I'm not gonna have any. I'm just gonna have pick 6 main guys for next week, and then for my dark horse, I'm not gonna have a dark horse pick next week, primarily because it's Talladega, and Talladega's a wild card, and anybody you can probably pick anybody. And so, just letting you know, it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have a harder time than Texas. But anyway, the 6 guys I picked for my main picks this week. I picked our defending winner at Texas with William Byron That's who I selected for this week. I feel like he's probably not going to disappoint this time again, William Byron, and yeah. And I think William Byron's on a tear right now, too. We're only 8 races in the season, and so far he only has gotten 3 wins. After 8 races, he has gotten 3 wins. For my second pick, I picked the guy who dominated a Texas race a couple of years ago, and I just feel like if he's going to get the pole again this weekend, he's probably going to be the one to look out for, and it's Kyle Larson. For once, I feel like my favorite driver is going to have a good day, and he's won at this place 4 times. Now it does depend on how well he qualifies and how well he practices. Honestly, though, I think he's coming to the end of his prime. But I think Kyle Busch is going to have a good day at Texas. Again, like I said, he won at this place 2013, 2016, 2018, and 2020. In 2020, that win didn't really mean anything besides, hey, a few extra points because he wasn't in the playoffs. But I was okay with that win. I was okay with him winning that race because I'm like, hey, we still have our 1 win a year. And I think his 1 win is at least 1 win a year. It's probably going to come here. Number 4, I picked the guy who basically dominated the last race at Texas Motor Speedway, and it was Bubba Wallace. I believe he led like 180-something laps. Let me verify on that. Alright, I stand corrected. It was 112 laps he led, but he was like for the longest time during the last restart and whatnot, he was making some runs on William Byron and had a shot to win that race. And I also don't like Bubba Wallace either. His attitude kind of sucks sometimes, just like his bosses. I feel like, though, he is also kind of maturing a little bit more, too. He used to not admit fault when he was at fault. And, of course, no one wants to admit fault when they're at fault, but he has actually came up to a couple of people now, had apologized to them. I mean, there was a race a couple weeks ago. He was a little too aggressive and accidentally spun out Kyle Larson. And the funny thing was, Kyle Larson in overtime, and it brought us into overtime. Kyle Larson somehow drove to a 3rd place finish, but Bubba Wallace drove to a 14th place finish, and Bubba and Larson were laughing actually after. When they were having conversation, they were laughing at each other, and Bubba was like, oh, my fault, man, I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to do that. My 5th pick, this guy has dominated a couple of races at Texas, but he just hasn't delivered, and I feel like he might deliver this time. He has swept the stages at Texas twice before, just didn't get the job done, and I feel like he might get the job done this time. But I feel like Ryan Blaney is going to get the job done this time. My 6th pick, he has won on every other 1.5-mile racetrack in the NASCAR Cup Series. He has won at Texas, he has won at Charlotte, he's won at Kansas, he's won at Chicago, when we were in Chicagoland, when we were in Kentucky. He won Homestead to get his championship. He's won at basically all the 1.5-mile racetracks except for one that we have been to in the NASCAR Cup Series. Unless else, he's won at Vegas 3 or 4 times, about 3 times. But he has won at every other racetrack. Besides maybe the super speedways in Atlanta. Well, Atlanta's kind of super speedway. But I feel like the way he's been racing a lot the last couple of weeks, a trip to victory lane is a little bit due for him. and by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, due for Martin Truex. A trip to victory lane is due for him. And then my dark horse pick for once in the last, ever since I made this, my dark horse pick was like Ty Gibbs, like a couple of times. Or Ty Gibbs was one of my main 7. It is not main 6. It is not Ty Gibbs this time. This time I have picked Alex Bowman as my dark horse. Alex Bowman is slowly making some noise, but I wasn't too sure if I should put him in my main pick, but I did pick him as a dark horse. Anyway, this was, I forgot to mention that if this was a significance for this last race, or if there was controversy and whatnot, I'll also talk about it. This race was also significant to the Hendrick Motorsports guys. I keep forgetting that this season is actually their 40th year of being in the NASCAR Cup Series. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, favorite. Your next will be awesome. You're painting on 8. See you.